Charles Woods, father of Navy SEALs Tyrone Woods. Tyrone was killed in Benghazi. Charles is a guy who has remarkable peace and was not planning on speaking out at all about his son's death in Benghazi, nor saying things about what he experienced on the tarmac as his son's body was coming off of the plane in the flag-draped coffin. But when he heard that the memos that the White House knew at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, that the Secretary of Defense was in the Oval Office at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, the president was there, that Hillary Clinton also had these cables that have been released, and that CBS has reported and verified that there was a drone in the air. If there wasn't a drone, because now Geraldo Rivera is saying there wasn't a drone, if there wasn't a drone, then you have to ask a question, why wasn't there one? This was a 7-hour battle. Why was there not a drone? We had people that were stationed and ready to go in Spain and in Sicily. You could have had people to help these guys within the hour. At 4 o'clock, the White House gets the first notice. At 5 o'clock, another notice. It goes all the way. The last notice is about mortar fire at 11:57 p.m. White House didn't what? They didn't go downstairs in the Situation Rooms? Really? The Secretary of Defense? This is going on. An embassy or a CIA safe house is under attack on September 11th, and the Secretary of Defense doesn't have access? The president doesn't have access? They don't go downstairs? Really? We have asked the White House. They haven't responded. They won't tell us where the president was during the attack. We know that he was in the Oval Office at 5 o'clock with the Secretary of Defense. We know that. Other than that, they won't tell us what the White House did, what the White House knew. They won't tell us where the president was. We have, after this interview last night with Charles Woods, we reached out to Joe Biden's office. No comment. We reached out to the State Department for a comment. No comment. This story is huge. But ABC and CBS and NBC and MSNBC and CNN, they're not going to play this story. They are not going to cover this story. And it is really important that the word gets out because this goes to honor. As you will hear from Charles, he's on hold now. As we go to him, I want you to listen to who this man is. I have not been struck by anything that smelled at all like politics. He was not going to speak out until he started reading the cables. Charles Woods from Hawaii. How are you, sir?
Yes. Good morning, Glenn. It's good to speak with you.
First of all, how has your night been?
Oh, it's fine. The one thing I really want to emphasize, Glenn, is this is not about politics. To allow this to be political would be to dishonor my son's death. This is about honor. This is about integrity. And this is about justice. Okay.
So you weren't planning on saying anything at all about your son's death? And
No. Actually, Glenn, my immediate family had made the decision that we were not going to make any public statements. But as I mentioned yesterday, this week, in the past few days, it did become public knowledge that within minutes of the first bullet being fired, that the White House actually did know in real time that my son and the other heroes that were defending American lives would be slaughtered if immediate air support was denied. And now it has come out that people in the White House, they knew the capabilities. They knew that there were C-130s that were ready to respond immediately. They knew that in less than an hour, the perimeters could have been secured and the American lives, including my son, could have been spared. But, they heartlessly, for 7 hours, watched my son and the other American heroes there fight numerically superior forces, and they basically watched him die. They knew he was going to die if they did not send immediate air support, and they took the cowardly action. They chose not to do that.
So, Charles, Charles, what I want to bring you to, and we'll talk some more about the president and Joe Biden, but I want to bring you to Hillary Clinton because I think this is critical in the timeline of the story. The president said during the debates when Mitt Romney said, where were you guys? And you said that this was a video. And the president came and said, no, I did not say it was a video. I said on September 11th that this was a terrorist attack. And so now the whole media is spinning that, yes, that's really what he said, and everybody's trying to cover for this president. But you say when you were on the tarmac at Andrews Air Force Base to receive your son's body, Hillary Clinton came up and spoke to you.
No, actually, Glenn, this was not on the tarmac. Before the president spoke at the hangar that was televised, there was a building, very nice, fairly large room, where there were couches and 4 different areas of that room. And each one of the 4 families was being represented, was comforting each other in each one of these 4 pods. And so it was not on the tarmac. It was actually in a building.
Okay. And she came up to you and she said what?
Basically, Hillary, she came up to me and, she looked, quite frankly, very burned, very worn out. And she came up to shake my hand. I shook her hand and I put my arm around her shoulder. And, she did express sympathy. I'm sorry for what happened to your son. And then she, I guess to comfort me, said, we will make sure that the person who made this film is arrested and prosecuted.
This flies in the face now of everything that they said, because now they're saying that they knew that it was attack. Again, this verifies the story that they are now trying to cover, that they were blaming it on this video. Did any of them talk to you at all about a terrorist attack, or is it just this film? And is this the only thing that they said about it?
Glenn, I really don't want to cast dispersions upon any particular individual. Okay? There were people in the White House who were morally not strong, who watched my son valiantly fight against superior forces for 7 hours. There were people in the White House who made the decision to deny their cries for help. I don't want to suggest any particular people. Those people, they know who they are, and they need to have the moral courage to stand up so that they can change their lives. More, Glenn, I do not want to pinpoint any particular person.
Okay.
The people that did not have the moral strength, they know who they are. My son showed courage. Now it is time for those people to stand up and to make a change in their lives for the better. I don't want to pinpoint any particular person. I do not want this to become political.
I understand that. What I'm trying to do, Charles, is just ask for the facts on, because this is not political. To me, this is so important because Libya shows that we have changed as a country the way we treat our military. The way we always go in and get the last man. We always risk all to save. That's who we are as Americans. And
that's exactly right. And when Ty went into the Navy SEALs, that was what he went in for, was to save life, not to take life. When he first went in, he went in to become a medic. Each Navy SEAL team has a number of individuals. Each one of them has a different set of skills. His skill set was to become as skillful as an emergency room doctor. That's why for 2 years he was with the ambulance service in San Diego with the San Diego Fire Department, not dressed as a SEAL, but dressed as one of them, so that he could do that, because that is always the policy of the SEALs and every other military operation, that they never abandon their men in the field. They never leave anyone behind. That's the way our military works. That's because our military has a high code of ethics.
Okay. Can you tell me about what the vice president said? I got yelled at my wife last night.
You know, Glenn, what was said, and I really don't want to make any more statements. That was
okay.
What was said.
But do you stand by? I want to make sure that you do stand by what you told me last night.
Oh, 100%. That's
okay.
What I said was quotes, was word for word. I do not speak that way.
All right.
I do not use those words.
Okay. All right. Well, Charles, I thank you so much for your courage to stand up, and I hope you don't mind that I said this morning.
No, I really do. And Glenn, I appreciate very much what you're doing. And this is such an important issue. I don't want it to be forgotten. I don't want it to be swept under the rug. But all I want to do is I want to honor my son. And I also want to give those people who did not have moral strength the opportunity to voluntarily stand up and show the moral strength now that they should have shown while they were watching for 7 hours my son fight, while they were allowing my son to be murdered, when they showed the lack of moral courage to send in and respond to the cries for help.
We have a report in just now that there is a source that has confirmed that there were at least 2 requests for help sent to the CIA when the attack in Libya commenced. Both of the requests were denied. The 2 SEALs that went in to help the ambassador went in against orders. They died 4 hours after the attack began. They report now that 2 SEALs who were at the CIA annex 1 mile down the road had a position that they could have coordinated artillery or mortar support, but they were told in no uncertain terms to stand down.
Jeez.
That is cowardice by the people that issued that order. And our country is not a country of cowards. Our country is the greatest nation on earth. And what we need to do is we need to raise up a generation of American heroes, just like I was an American hero. But in order to do that, we need to raise up a generation that has not just physical strength, but moral strength. We do not need another generation of liars who lack moral strength. And
Charles,
I hope my words are not too strong for you.
No, I was just saying you have, I was just going to say to you, Charles, you have so much restraint, and you are a far better man than I am.
Glenn, I totally respect what you're doing. You're doing this every day. And like I said yesterday, I have to make sure that I have total forgiveness towards everyone. Like I said yesterday, after the president spoke, the representative from Libya came up to me and said he was sorry. Afterwards, I sought him out, and I said total forgiveness. I may be coming across a little bit strong, but I sincerely, from my heart, I want to have total forgiveness towards everyone. But I also want to see justice, and I also want to see the people who were involved change the direction of their lives for the better. I want the best for them as well.
Charles, God bless you, and I hope to be able to shake your hand someday. You are a remarkable man.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. I have to tell you something. I think this guy is,
amazing.
Listen to that. Mm-hmm. His son, I just was handed this report in the middle that said they were told to stand down. They were told to do nothing. And they were like, we cannot let people just die. Our own people just die. And they went in and they had to have known. There's no help coming. They had to have known they were going to go in and fight. And I tell him that, and listen to that man. You can't tell me that's about politics.
No.
That is about honor. This is what this race is about, because that's who we are. You just have to find the the honor again. We have to reach higher than what we've reached for. Please, this story is not being told yet anywhere. Please get this story out to everyone you know. Take it. It'll be posted up on the Blaze. This will be posted. Take it, Facebook it, tweet it, put it everywhere you know, as many places as you can. Send it to everyone you know. This is critical because this is really what it's all about, and it shows they're lying in a very dangerous and very callous way.